And nothing gets complete without a chartered accountant by name Ratnam, who probably advises and is a tax consultant of the wife of Mr. Karunanidhi, third wife of Mr. Karunanidhi, Rajati Amman. This is the theatre. And it is all about a technology-based business. And unless you understand the core of this business, how profitable it has become, how it is perhaps the most valued investment in the whole world, unless you understand it, we can't understand the scale of corruption, the intensity of corruption, the intensity of the pursuit of the licenses which led to this corruption. We can understand only if you understand how this technology-based business has become one of the most powerful generators of money. You see, everybody talks about 2G. 2G is nothing except that it is an improvement over 1G. It was not called 1G. There was no 1G. It was just a wireless phone, a cell phone which was in use. But this 2G became an improvement in technology. It is like the Boeing jet operated by Air India. And the 1G technology is like the our local Paramount Airways with smaller jet, not being able to connect to different places. This 2G technology brings about roaming, can have international roaming. That is the technology which also operates today. No one anticipated India to become such a powerful 2G spectrum, the 2G business operator in the world. I'll just give you an idea. In the year 2001, the cell phone subscribers in India were 36 million. In 2007, when these licenses were being considered for issue, 240 million, we have 300 million in 2008 when these licenses were actually issued. And now 594 million. And in March alone, the addition was 20 million. 2 crore subscriptions were added in just 1 month. This is a cynosure of global investment. And so there was a mad rush when the government felt that there should be more operators because there are more subscribers. This business became a huge business. But this cell phone doesn't operate just like that. It requires airwaves to operate. And the airwaves are not just freely available. They are attached to the land. Like land, they are limited in supply. And they are being used for strategic purposes. In fact, civil use of airwaves was a very later development. They were used only for strategic military purposes. Even today, the commercial use of the airways is because the army is forced to release it. Army is forced to release the strategic national resources of India, and it is being sold in the market at rates which are not even 1/10 of the market rate. That's the point that is going to make. The airwaves are costly, irreplaceable. You can't improve it, you can't multiply its supply, and so it has to be priced in a fair manner, especially when it is yielding huge private profits. But what is the government doing? In all this, there is a primary reason responsibility. There is an industrial group in India, I can name it Reliance Group. They entered into the wireless license, the cell phone license quite late, because cell phone business quite late. But they said, we are not doing any cell phone business. We are only providing cordless telephone in the streets. They brought in one CDMA technology and said, we are not really giving you any cell phone. We are giving cordless telephone attached to the fixed phone. So they began multiplying. Suddenly they gathered some 5 to 6 million subscribers without paying any license fee at all. And it became a catastrophic development. It completely upset the power balance. That is the balance between the different people. And the government in 2001 had to take a decision. They were unable to stop this. They could not allow this to continue. With the result, they formulated the fixed license policy of charging about 1,650 crores per license. This policy was devised in 2001 when the total subscriber strength in India was 36 million. The issue in 2007 was, Mr. Nripayendu Mishra is here, I must congratulate that because of such honest people only, this became an issue. Otherwise it would never have become an issue. People like him insisted that there is such a huge shift in the profile of the business. It has become so unimaginably profitable, you cannot be selling it. It is not 5 times, 7 times the value at which these licenses were sold in, Spectrum was sold in 2001. Now we have to charge a higher amount. It has to be an open bid. You cannot do it on first come, first served basis. This is the stage at which Mr. Raja becomes the telecom minister in May 2007. And he immediately begins initiating steps. At that time, Mr. D.S. Mathur was the secretary of the telecom department. He said, nothing doing, we will not allow this to be done. And we want a transparent licensing policy. Then, on September 24th, this is the most crucial thing. The DoD issues a circular that till September 2007, 24th September, they issue a circular that by 1st October, that is 7 days from then, anybody who wants to apply for license can apply for license. You know, till 25th September, 232 people had applied for licenses. In the next 6 days, 375 more applied for licenses. You can understand, these are not ordinary people, these are big corporates. Each one capable of paying hundreds and hundreds of crores of bribe. And this is the extent of licenses, 575 is the total number of licenses. Then on 24th, when they issue this circular, the law ministry takes the position on the 1st. These are the 3 dates are very, very critical. On the 1st of November, Law Minister Bharadwaj says this procedure is unacceptable, even for Bharadwaj. This is unacceptable. And he says there should be an open bid. Then he said it must be a group of ministers should look into it, and we will not. We should not allow this process. We cannot clear this. On the next day, this is on the 1st of September 2001. On the next day, November 2, at 8 p.m., Raja wrote a letter to the Prime Minister saying this man knows nothing, and I am giving you all the details. As to what I am doing is what the previous government has done, and that is only fair and gives all the justice.